Lord Captain? As you wish, Lord Captain. I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis. No, used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my call. I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. It was a difficult choice for me. But I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell. You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and muster lists. On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing or an informal discussion, I violated those rules, determined to press my point. It is challenging to choose the words to accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound overly scathing or confrontational. Many in command were inclined to view my manner of speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank. I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11. What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless. Of course. Lord Captain.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain? Look, Lady Theodora couldn't care less if some eggheads measured my brains or not. It's not about the seal on your forehead, get it? It's about what's in your gut, if it's rotten or not. My gut's stronger than the adamantine on this here ship. And my implants are better than the ones they put in you on your Terra. It was just my nerves playing up. Something about our little saint doesn't sit right with me, and I trust my gut. Oh sure, she seems straight as an arrow and as predictable as a hangover after drinking. But when I look at her, something about her makes my brain itch. After that conversation, I tried to listen to what was being said about her. Beyond the door, what I heard was strange. Blood in her past, twilight in her present, and something like a star leading her. But where is it leading her? If I knew, I would have told you. Hearing things clearly requires cooperation from the other person, you know. But that cobra just hisses and spits its venom at me. I don't trust her one bit. Oh yeah, you go ahead and tell her the wicked Psyker has divined something about her. She'll be so pleased and grateful, and of course she'll listen to what you have to say. No, that would be pointless. And anyway, I'm not even sure what it all means. Maybe the danger is to her, or maybe the danger's coming from her. Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Coronis Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between 2 faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly... But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord. It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right? Of course, Lord Captain. The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices, ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. All right, let's... A chained hound chases after glimmers of the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. The chain trails after him. What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become him? The glow of dawn bursts forth from its prison. Dungeon walls cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already been raised. What is one more life to it? I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing. I'll try to rein them in, somehow. But for now... Of course.
The Messiah knows all, comprehends all. The request is approved. I came heeding the call of my mentor, the blessed Archmagus Amonat. Thank you. Information acknowledged. I will analyze it and take addition. I propose that it was the blessed Amonat who assumed this name. This name is assigned to me. His presence in the hands of heretics is categorically unacceptable. The canon acknowledged. I am honored to belong to the priesthood of Mars. That is where the cult of the Omnissiah originated, and where we were granted the first revelations. Many millennia ago, we made an alliance with the Emperor of Terra. Everything that bears the blessed seal of machinery comes from our hands, and it is we who make sure the operating rituals are performed as they were meant to. It is both a treasure and a secret. Technology is how the divinity of the Omnissiah manifests itself in this world. This is why the uninitiated may only be allowed to touch the most vulgar and mundane of its instances. We, on the other hand, are authorized to... Although there is another reason to deny lay people the sacrament of knowledge, it can be dangerous. Twisted by renegades, the Omnissiah's wisdom is called heretic, and the exposure to it may corrupt the uninitiated. Another danger is knowledge strangely interpreted and inscrutably twisted by the minds of the Xenos. This bane is called Xenotech. This statement is true. This Electu indicates that I am a Magos, who has mastered the sacraments of many spheres of knowledge, and has the right to conduct services in a forged cathedral. He is the divine mechanism, the maker of technology. The universe was made to resemble a mechanical marvel, because the Omnissiah rules over it. Knowledge is the highest form that he uses to manifest in the world. For now. Someday, the Adeptus Mechanicus worshipped the Emperor. Your Organic tissue is an imperfect replica of the machine, transient and vulnerable. Metal is more stable, more effective, and more durable. Flesh speak is flawed next to biheric language. Meat begets weakness. It softens the mind and undermines discipline. But you can replace metal when it wears down. However, like all things sacred, our augmentations must not be defiled by the eyes of the ignorant. Which is why we reveal only the crudest of tools, while holier mechanisms remain concealed beneath. The right to witness the miracle of flesh being fused with holy metal is granted only to those who have ascended to the rank of initiate. However, your lofty status of rogue trader allows me to make a partial exception and reveal my sacred stigmata. Flesh may be fragile, but metal... Partially true. I had a voice modulator implanted alongside the respiratory purification. Acknowledged. May your...
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations. I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time... You wish to know about me? I suppose I can help you with that. What would you like to know? Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines. For many years, dozens of instructors tirelessly prepared me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent Alronto would come to the station. He would entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so that I could master the practical aspects of our art as well. The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused, and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only... And since the subject has been breached, Lord Captain, why do you not follow this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not? Your words sound amazingly blasphemous. If a ruler's duty dictates the need for violence, would dispensing it not be their responsibility? I will contemplate your answer in solitude. The Navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium may find our appearance repulsive. The Navigator gene twists the features the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds. Perhaps my appearance does not terrify you right now, but this will not always be so. The Navigator gene is unstable. My body is going to change over time. And only the God Emperor knows exactly how. You will hear no objection from me, Lord Captain. Right here? Of course. Let us turn from personal matter. I have enjoyed your...
Greetings. About me. I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me? Gladly, there are none more faithful to the God Emperor. It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his wrath to Should any more... I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story is... I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I'd barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more. And it's bound... It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to it. On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard. The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous Navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valant... I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself. During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistics systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional Sister of Battle aboard. But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the pirates. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright. As you wish. This ship was targeted by heretical pirates, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my sacred duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew. Those are very courteous words, Rogue Trader. Thank you, both for your words and your hospitality.
they're trying to tell me something. The future is never certain.
I failed.
That wasn't so difficult.
This master-crafted patella augment is not
I
fit for a
better myself
servitor.
through my service.
I'll chart a course for you.
Executing request.
If such is the Emperor's will. A nice little stroll.
The whispers are getting louder.
I'll do it.
On it. Anything else? Will do. My prescience has failed me.
Doubt is for the weak. Faith without none can escape the Emperor's judgment. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. Request approval.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
If I may.
I'll do it. Each strike is a prayer.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call. Indeed.
High momentum.
For Von Valencius! I took care of this one. At your beck and call.
But of course. What an unfortunate turn of fate. Will do. On it.
As the Emperor... Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. Eradicate it.
I go where the whispers lead.
Knowledge is eternal. My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Marching on.
It is my destiny to traverse the unknown.
Light of terror, guide our way.
I'm not satisfied with that answer. I will repeat my question again. The last Electro Priest you killed, where did you find him?
Burn in the fire of dawn, servant of the cop!
And another one meets the limit of his utility. The last of them. Yes. Since you know who I am, and are in no hurry to kill me, I infer that you serve the Emperor, not his enemies. Allow me to introduce myself. Interrogator Heinrich van Kalox of the Imperial Inquisition's esteemed Ordo Xenos. With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Shadow. A great big sun-eclipsing, chain-weaving shadow. I can see the threads, myriads of them extending toward us all, and all of them creeping off toward him like snakes, shrouding us in poison. My, oh my, do I sense trouble, and it's right in my throat. It itches.
A psyker. Interesting. And a diviner at that. Even more interesting. Are you sanctioned?
Don't you Inquisition me! I'm under the rogue trader's protection!
And I will be watching you. Now that we have declared our intent, let me ask again, who are you? Von Valancius. To the best of my knowledge, that dynasty is headed by the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. Has there been a change of circumstances? Then the timing of our meeting is fortuitous. I am requisitioning you and your retinue for my task.
Requisitioning? Young man, your choice of words is unseemly to the point of insult. You're addressing a rogue trader.
I don't imagine you'll be any happier if I say taking into Inquisitorial custody.
To aid his faithful servant in the fight against corruption is the solemn duty of all whose actions affect millions of the Imperium's subjects. Let your example guide those who will carry the Emperor's light across 1,000 stars.
You are familiar with the works of Inquisitor Alistar the Redeemer. Not every acolyte can say the same, let alone people less initiated. Please forgive my lapse in manners, Lady Navigator Orselio. It is a great honor. I came to Rykad Minoris on a mission, which a rebellion prevented me from fulfilling. The governor is convinced that malcontents from among the rabble were the instigators, but I immediately suspected a more sinister presence at the root of the mutiny. My visit to the monastery and a few unhurried conversations with some of the rebels confirmed my suspicions. Someone by the name of Aurora is leading the rebellion. Data indicates that the head of the cultists is here right now, in the sanctum of the ancient reactor. Given the prophecy of the final dawn, and the especial efforts made by the enemies of humanity to seize the monastery, their goal is to gain access to the holy power source's control circuit and trigger a process that, once started, cannot be stopped. In other words, to detonate the reactor, thus being themselves the cause of their much-touted final dawn.
Blasphemous insanity.
Thank you. Regrettably, the governor's people showed themselves to be unprepared for the perils of this place. And extracting blade shards from a person's stomach is beyond my powers. I hope that a rogue trader's retinue will prove more capable than a group of soldiers fresh off the base. I am positive that not all of the electro-priests within these walls have perished. The heretics spoke of shadows emerging from side alleys to make short work of the cultists invading their abode. I surmise that the entrance to their hiding place is somewhere in the hall near a machine known as the Circular Cogitator. I imagine it's one of the local sacred relics which the electro-priests treat with special piety.
Litany of reconnaissance recited. The machine god grants the insight.
What ails you? Tread carefully, rogue trader.
Join me in prayer. I'm restless. Onward! As the Emperor commands, I act. I will deliver furious retribution!
Crush them!
I'll do it. As the Emperor faith without... Doubt is for the weak. I'll do it. Faith shields me.
I won't object to it.
It's nothing.
Anything else? On it.
My vow is to serve. Advancing. The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. If I may.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
High momentum.
I'll show you why navigators are feared.
God Emperor, move through me! See the fire in my heart! Rejoice in battle! I'll do it. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
I'm listening. My success is an irrefutable certainty. Ready for data input. Executing request.
I'm watching your back. Always. What is it, rogue trader?
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows.
Color the uncolored.
My whispers crave.
Data meditation is terminated.
I guide humanity between the stars.
What ails you?
The Emperor sets my path.
You are in the presence of House Orcelio.
Let's proceed.
Something ominous lurks ahead.
The machine god grants me insight.
I've seen a lot of innocent people. I've yet to see someone remain so after an interrogation. Now, press on.
We function as one.
Stand still.
Ministration is a holy task.
I'll chart a course for you.
What is it, rogue trader? Get back to fighting.
I'll guide your vessel and lead you on your way.
The whispers told me how.
Operation successful.
What deeds await us?
My mind is focused.